I'm making this vlog because a friend of mine was mentioned in a New York Times article by Katie Brenner, I believe her name is, and I read the article. Yeah, Katie Benner, excuse me, Katie Benner. And I'm just doing this cold turkey, all right? And I read it through and about these different stories of women talking about harassment in tech situations. And as a person who has covered tech and started a blog, first a game company, a small education game company, and then media company, I've had and went to a lot of events. I've seen the culture from a number of different perspectives and have a lot of friends, acquaintances, and associates. Marc Canter is one of them. He's a friend. And Marc is a person I've known who always has tried to help by connecting me with someone else that he knew. Marc started Macro Media. He built something called the People Connector, which actually was one of the forerunners to the current crop of social media websites we have today, right? Marc is a funny guy, eccentric guy, always has a thought, something that maybe some way of looking at the world that you didn't consider. There are a lot of people in tech like that, philosophers, right? Philosopher kings and queens. But I digress. Marc's one of those people. So, in fact, Marc last year tried to connect me with two tech attorneys, me and my business partner and friend. Didn't work out, but I appreciated the effort that Marc put forth. And I appreciate that Marc occasionally points out that, hey, Zinni's a black guy in tech who is consistently ignored, and the fact that he's ignored is an example of the problem of racism in tech, okay? Thanks, Marc. And that's out of the blue. That's completely out of the blue, all right? It really is. It really is. Now, in this instance, I happened to read down and I found the name of Wendy Dent, 43, and I went, Wendy Dent, where do I know that name from? You know, your mind starts, Wendy Dent, 43, whose company, Sinmerse, makes an app for smart watches, and she was sent increasingly flirtatious messages by a startup advisor, Marc Canter, as she was trying to start her company in 2014. Mr. Canter, who had founded a software company in the 80s that became known as Macro Media, initially agreed to help her find a co-founder, but over time his messages became sexual in nature. And, you know, I don't have any idea of how they met. All I know is that Wendy and I were connected on Facebook by way of Marc. Marc didn't set us up. I'm saying that, you know, you have mutual friends and everything. And we connected, didn't have a talk except for one thing, and that was the World Affairs Council, of which I have had a long time interest in. She's been to, okay? So I thought she was going to go to the World Affairs Council, and that was how the nature of our conversation started. Okay, fine, right? No, nothing, right? So then, 4th of July last year, 2016, Wendy, out of the blue, now no, I've never met her in person. We never had coffee. You know, I was trying to arrange we could talk on the phone, right? But nothing transpired to where we had this solid friendship where she was over my place for dinner or we were meeting at cafes or whatever. Nothing like that. I have no idea what Wendy really looks like in person. I don't know, okay? I don't know. So with all that, just prior to the 4th of July, actually, yeah, about a few days before that, she out of the blue asked if she can come over and sleep at my place for the weekend, the 4th of July weekend, okay? That's what she asked. And I said no. And yeah, I was out of town. I said no. I didn't say no like anything mean or anything. I just said no, you know, I'm not here. And then I was in my mind thinking, what is wrong with her, okay? I mean, that she would actually do that. And yeah, that's how I think. You have to be careful because you don't know if that person is going to knife you or they're going to rob you. You don't know. So if you're watching this thinking, well, everybody couch surfs or everybody does Airbnb, there's a flip side to stuff like that too. Or, you know, rooming on Craigslist or anything. And remember, I take precautions. Sorry, better safe than sorry. That's how I think. So then after that, Wendy had this video that pertained to the Black Lives Matter issue, and she contacted me about it, being, well, you know, and being connected with her, and she wanted it. It wasn't clear to me what she wanted. I thought she wanted it broadcasted. I have a network of blogs and video blogs, and put it on my YouTube channel and blast it out, right? That's what I thought she wanted. And if ads are put on it, then gain a little revenue, which I was happy to split with her. Because I was under the impression that, among other things, she didn't have any money at all, and she was trying to couch surf, which is not safe. Okay? It's not safe. So she got mad that I didn't understand why she wanted it in mainstream media and not on my media. And I decided to cut things off right then and there because I felt insulted. Sorry, I just did, on top of everything else. It's like, geez, this is not the way I want to be treated. And this is what I wrote to Marc Canter, and this is on 10/9/2016 at 9:33 in the morning via Facebook. And I wrote, this is what I wrote, okay? I'm not trying to say anything bad about Wendy at all. I feel sorry for Wendy a great deal. I really, really do. But this is what I wrote at the time. Here it goes. Dude, Wendy Dent is a nutcase. First asked to stay at my place for July 4th. Never met me. I made up an excuse to ward her off. I told her we should meet over coffee. Never happened. Then she reaches out about some Black Lives Matter video she claims to have. When I offered to run it and share the revenue with her, she declined. Even though she said she was flat broke, and she did say, she said she was flat broke. Turns out she's couch surfing, which is another way of using people and not getting her act together. I could go on and on, but she's a mess. That's what I wrote to Marc. Marc replied, I'll keep that in mind with 4 dots, ... And that was it, okay? So, and we, you know, left the discussion of Miss Dent at that. And as it should stay. Now, as far as what she and I communicated to each other, I had said to her, 7/18/2016, it was later in the month of July. I said, actually 7/17 is what I wrote. You know, thinking, you know, I'll try the coffee route, right? Hi, Wendy. This is Zenny Abraham. I am to fly back to Oakland briefly, and I was wondering if you were still there and had time to meet up on a Monday night or Tuesday. I'm at the number below as well, which is textable. Best Zenny. That's it. She writes back on 18. She says, hi, Zenny. Would be great to meet you, though I'm up in Santa Rosa area until early August. Hope we cross paths another time soon. Best, Wendy. Okay? And then after the whole Black Lives Matter debacle, I wrote back to her, hey, Wendy. And this is on 10/9/2016, October 9th, 2016. I wrote back, hey, Wendy. I don't know what is behind your unusual reaction to a bit of nothingness on Facebook, because we were communicating via Facebook Messenger, but I do hope you find the peace of mind you seek and the income. Best, Zenny. And that was it, okay? The New York Times is doing an incredible disservice in the way it's covering this issue from my perspective, because there are a lot of good people and people who don't mean so good, male and female, female and male, all around. The bottom line is that you have a lot of brilliant people who feel that in some kind of way they've been overlooked, and they take their displeasure about that out in different ways. And I really believe Wendy falls in that category because she is, if nothing else, bright. Okay? And let's just get that out of the way. And whatever is making her tick back there, I don't know, because when she was asking to stay at my place for the 4th of July, I thought, where are her parents? But that's how I think. All right? That's how I think. I thought it was a very dangerous thing to do, just to people say couch surf, but that's not good. I hope she finds success. I really do. But to call Marc out the way that she did in an international, publication, I thought was unnecessary and wrong. There was nothing that was going to be accomplished from that. I mean, nothing. Nothing at all. So I just want to say that in my experience, Marc's a great guy. I've seen him great with everybody, male, female, everything else. He's helped a number of entrepreneurs, including me, but also I approached Marc. Now, did Wendy approach Marc for help? It makes it sound like in New York Times, Marc approached her out of the blue. Yeah, a lot of people on Facebook are connected to Marc. He's like the center, for a good wheel, hub and spoke system of people that are in tech connected in different ways. So I thought that did Marc a disservice. It didn't need to happen. Oh, there you go. And, again, this is not to defame Wendy at all. I'm just explaining what happened. I'm just explaining what happened. I hope God smiles on Wendy and gives Wendy the success she so rightly deserves. And I mean that.